Hey, how's it going everybody? My name is Aryan and today we're doing a video that I'm actually really excited for, and that's a studio tour. I've wanted to do this for the longest time and I'm finally getting around to it. You guys have probably seen that I've been making many changes, over the last couple of months, but I've finally settled on a look that I'm happy with, and today we're gonna go over that. And of course, at the end of the video, we'll also do a little bit of a Q&A. So with all that out of the way, let's get started with the studio tour. All right, everybody, let's get started. So nothing crazy here. This is basically just like a 10 by 10 room in my basement that I took over that I now call my studio. So this is the bookshelf and my desk set up here. There's literally nothing on that side, just two stools and some sound panels that I never got around to putting up. So they just kind of hang around there. So this table used to be by that wall, if you remember, but like 2 days ago I moved it to the middle of the room. I just feel like that gives me more room to actually put film equipment back there to kind of film me, because I want to do more videos just sitting at my desk. So that was the idea there. But I've been kind of moving this stuff around all over the place, but this is kind of the look that I've settled with for now. I'll probably change it in like a month's time. But let's get started. So let's start with this beast right over here. This monitor I actually got about a year ago. This is of course the Samsung 49-inch super ultra wide monitor. I believe it's 1440 by 5120, so it's 32 by 9. I really love this thing. It's basically like a workhorse. I can have like 5 windows open at the exact same time, and editing on this is a dream. So that's why I have this here. And then over here I have the Logitech G560 speakers, I believe. I just think they look really cool, and I don't really care about the sound, to be honest. So as long as they look cool on the desk, I'm okay with it. And then we have the subwoofer down there. Then onto the keyboard, we have the Logitech G915 keyboard here. The only reason I got this keyboard is because I think it looks really cool. It's got this wheel here for the volume, which I really like, and it's wireless. Then I have the Logitech MX Master 2 mouse, I believe. It's really comfortable, it fits in my hand nice, so I just really like this one here. So now moving on to the actual desk itself. This I actually built from IKEA. So these are the Alex drawers that you can get from IKEA. These are the white ones, of course. And then I got like these tiny furniture legs from Amazon. And then I have the Carlby up on top, and this is the 72-inch by 24-inch, I believe. This look is kind of inspired by Random Frank P. I really like his setup, so I kind of went with his aesthetic here. And the paint on the walls, the matte black, is kind of inspired by Becky and Chris. I really like the aesthetic they went with like the darker, moodier tones, so that's why you see the black paint with like this wooden and white desk aesthetic. I really dig it. I think it looks really cool. Alright, so now on to the fun stuff, the PC. This actually I bought for myself on my 18th birthday, and ever since then I've changed pretty much everything except for the graphics card. That is still the same, but everything from the motherboard to the RAM to like the water cooling, everything has changed, everything's new. I'm actually looking to get like a white PC case to kind of match everything else here, but for now this is gonna do. And I'm not really a PC nerd, so I'm just going to kind of put all the specs here on the screen if you guys are interested. I'm honestly not too sure what's in here, but I'll put everything on the screen for you guys. Alright, now moving on to the bookshelf. And honestly, there's not a whole lot happening here. I just have a few simple things like my cage for this camera, my monitor, GorillaPod. I have that lamp from IKEA. And then I have a lens mug to act like a fake lens. And then I have an actual lens, the 85mm. I love that lens. Then I have a Rubik's Cube. This one again I just really like because it's not an ordinary Rubik's Cube. You play it, if I can do it with one hand, it's like weird like that. So I really like this. It just stays right over here. Stuff is really hard to do with one hand. Alright, and then I have this little sign which just says workaholic, looking down upon those with a life. Kind of the motto of my life because I'm working all the time. Then I have just a simple plant, IKEA, and then the clapperboard, which is the most fun thing I own, I think. And then this guitar. Actually, people ask me sometimes in the comments, do I know how to play guitar? I don't, and fun fact, this is actually missing a string. It's only got 5 strings, as you can see. So I just got this guitar in like a garage sale like 6 years ago. And I just think it looks really cool, so I just have it in the background of my videos. I've never played it a day in my life. Actually, I did play it once and I broke the string, so it's just there in the background. And yeah, so that's about it for the setup here. Again, there's not a whole lot happening here. I used to have this desk up in my bedroom where I used to record all my videos, but so far the spare bedroom has been treating me nicely, so everything's here for now, and I think I'm gonna stay here for a little bit longer, and hopefully I can get a bigger space sometime in the future, but so far this is what we have going here. Alright, so now let's answer some of the questions you guys asked me over on Instagram. And if you want to participate in the next Q&A, you can leave any questions down in the comments below or follow me over on Instagram. That's probably the best way. Alright, so the first question actually comes from a friend of mine, Michelle. And Michelle asks, what do you use to film? So right now I'm filming with the Sony a7 III. That's my main camera that I use to film all my YouTube videos, all my client work, everything. I do want to get the a7S III very soon. I'm hoping, by the end of the year. I was hoping actually earlier this year, but I had other priorities beforehand. So hopefully by the end of the year, I'll have the a7S III. She actually has another question, and that is, what photo or video are you most proud of? So I'm not really much of a photographer, but if I was to pick one photo that I'm like the happiest with, that would be that photo right over there. I was doing a save the date video for a client and it was a very beautiful night and I took that picture. I was actually shooting that as like an establishing shot for my video, but it just looked so good, so I just kind of took a picture of it as well, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. And as per the video side of things, there was actually a short film I worked on in high school called Stargazing, and I think it's probably the best project I've worked on. Not necessarily in terms of the quality, but overall the experience I had working on it. Some amazing people helped me out with that, and I was involved in writing, directing, editing, all of that fun stuff. So that was probably my favorite project I've ever worked on, and I'm very proud of that. And it's actually on this channel, so maybe I'll link it over here if you guys want to go check it out. Next up, my buddy Ikram asks, your favorite camera and place. So in terms of place, I would probably go with Banff National Park. Too bad it's like 12 hours away from here, but I really love that place. The mountains are beautiful. Everything about that place is just beautiful. I mean, you've probably seen it from like all the Peter McKinnon vlogs, but that truly is one of the best places in Canada. And in terms of favorite camera, I would love to film with like a Red or an RE camera one day, but realistically speaking, probably the a7S III. I don't know if you can tell already, but I'm really looking forward to buying that camera very soon. Next up, Josh asks, favorite movie and director. So, director, easy, Chris Nolan, my favorite director of all time. Movies are a little bit trickier. I mean, I love Marvel movies a lot. I think I went to see Endgame in theaters like 8 times. And I've seen it like at least 40 times since. I'm a big Marvel guy, but I would say my favorite movie would have to be Inception. I mean, Nolan is my favorite director, and I feel like that's his finest work, in my opinion. So I would have to go with that. So in terms of like movies I just keep going back to just to have a good time, probably Marvel movies, all of them basically, except for Thor 2. I hate that movie. But in terms of like a cinematic experience, I would probably have to give it to Inception. It's probably my favorite movie of all time. Next up, we have Nikhil. Of course, Captain Sinbad himself. And first things first, dude, you're like my new favorite person on the planet. I'm really, really happy that you watch my videos, or even some of my videos. That just means a whole lot to me in like my early YouTube journey. So thanks a lot for that. And your question is, what's your dream project or dream brand partnership? For like a dream brand partnership, I would love to do something with like a car company. I mean, that would be crazy. I drive an Audi myself, so maybe I'll go with them. If I could work for Audi one day, that would be awesome. And in terms of my dream project, I really like to direct, and making short films is like my favorite thing to do ever. I haven't really gotten around to making a lot on this channel here. I used to make a lot more like when I was in high school, of course. I mean, I'm finally at a stage in my career where I can actually produce my own short films and I don't have to go ask for funding to other people. So I'm hoping to, produce a lot more in the future. I've had this idea in the back of my head for like 2.5 years now. It's called In Absentia. I wrote it 2 years ago. I'm really hoping to finally getting around to producing it soon. So that would probably be my dream project right now. Next up, we have another buddy of mine, Nathan. Describe yourself as an artist. Do you have different perspectives that shape your art? Oh man, you're always with the deep questions, man. God, okay. I'm not too sure exactly how to answer that, but I get inspired by the people I look up to. So for example, the biggest influence I would say on my writing and directing style would be Chris Nolan. I love the guy, he's my favorite director, and I, hope to be like him someday. For example, my short film Stargazing, it was about what makes us human. And that was a question I wasn't totally comfortable answering for other people, but that's what the story had to be about. So the approach I took was kind of try to guide the viewer in a direction, but don't totally answer the question for them. I feel like that's very Chris Nolan, something you'd see in The Prestige, Inception, or even Tenet. So that's kind of the approach I took, and I feel like that's influenced by Chris Nolan. I really hope that answers your question, and I tried my best. Another question from Nathan is, what are your long-term goals? Who do you want to work for, or do you want people to work under you, etc.? I don't really want to work for anybody, and in the long run, I'm hoping to have a successful freelance business. I would love to do a whole lot more commercials and music videos and just short films in general. That's something I really love doing, so that would be long term. I mean, right now I'm filming a whole lot of weddings, but that's not really long term for me. Are you a Lakers fan? I don't really want to offend any true Lakers fans out there, so no, I'm more of just a LeBron fan. And yeah, they just got knocked out of the playoffs yesterday. I'm not very happy about that. Alright everybody, that's about it for today. A huge thank you to everybody who asked me their questions over on Instagram. I really appreciate you guys. And if you want to participate in the next Q&A, you can leave your questions down in the comments below or give me a follow over on Instagram. Alright, that's about it for today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave it a like, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell, and I'll see you guys next time.